First the skies, then the crystal. What next?
My lord, that some of my fellow Guardians are to build a new home there, both for themselves.
It's true.
I have many fond memories. When I was a child, we would visit my aunt and uncle often. They would lavish attention upon me as if I were the son they never had. I went to see Aunt Hannah after my uncle passed away, but not nearly as often as I should have.
Oscar, I'd like you to assist Sir Wade in the rebuilding efforts.
But my lord, my training is not yet complete. I couldn't possibly.
I warned you I might not be the easiest of masters, but I'm not as hard-hearted as that. Go. Be with your aunt. Rebuild her home. Is what she would have wanted.
Yes, my lord. Thank you, my lord.
Origin, he called it. But the origin of what?
It's not often our entire merry flock returns home to roost at once. I expect I should be wishing you good luck.
There's something about it.
Still alive, I see. Something tells me that eyesore on the horizon is your doing. How'd you manage that?
It's a long story. One that I'd rather only tell once.
Right. All hands on deck, then.
Is this everyone? As I'm sure you've all guessed, the crystal which now commands the eastern skies was summoned by Ultima. He called it Origin. Though the significance of that name is as yet unclear.
What does it matter what it's called? Its emergence tore Twinside asunder and wiped my homeland from the map.
Mention of the Dominion spires can be found in the oldest of Varisthian records. But to the best of my knowledge, none provide any hint as to their true nature. That they would prove the horns of some slumbering demon. Well,
the Dominion's demise was at least quick. Elsewhere, the Republican army cannot hope to contain the chaos engulfing Randalar. Canberra is in flames, and the Empire.
Our allies are crying out for answers. I've sent the Cursebreakers to give them what assurances we can, but right now that amounts to fuck all.
They wouldn't be able to stop what the skies have started in any case. People here and across the realm grow sicker with every passing day.
Could it be that this new Mother Crystal is like the others? that it draws upon the land's ether. It certainly looked that way from stone here.
If that were true, it would explain the hastening spread of the Blight since the crystal's appearance. Would it not?
And as the land's ether slowly rises to the surface, it pools, corrupting all who cannot channel its energies. Archay above, ether floods below, and in the middle, here we languish, hopelessly entrapped.
It's all right. When we faced him at Stone here, Ultima told us his true power quickens in the Halls of Origin. Needless to say, we cannot allow that to continue. If we are to stop him, we will have to find a way into the crystal.
How are we gonna manage that then? It's up in the sky. And fast as she is, the Enterprise can't fly.
It's a lot to take in, and I reckon we'd all benefit from some time to clear our heads. The answer will come to us. Don't you worry. Ain't that right, Clive?
Right. That's right.
Well, go on then. Bugger off. Same goes for you, Clive. You won't solve anything like this. Trust me. Go and get some fresh air, eh?
Thank you. Joshua seemed upset. Ultima may have created us, but he doesn't make us who we are. Only we can do that. And if he would have us fight for our survival, so be it. It's what we've been doing all along.
Much like Ultima himself, it would seem. His new world being naught but a means to survive. And so, we must contend to decide which of us shall inherit the land. Should Ultima prevail, it will mean death for us all. Of that, we can be certain. But even should he fail, what world awaits us? A withered, godless place, where our newfound freedom will most like prove a chain in itself.
Well, that may be. But a chain can always be broken. As long as one has the will to break it, it won't be easy. It may take generations, centuries of suffering. And that is if everyone plays their part. But it will happen. And when it does, it will be on our terms. That is the world that awaits us.
Indeed. And what better world could one wish for?
But first, we have to reach that crystal.
Then it's a good thing I have wings.
You can barely stand, let alone fly. And only the Founder knows what horrors await in those skies. Are you certain about this?
Am I certain? I am the Phoenix. I will do what I must. This is our fight. Remember?
All right. I yield. But only what you must, yes? I'm still your sworn shield.
That you are.
And what of my wings? Lest you forget, you go to stand against a god. I would not have you succumb to fatigue before the fight begins. Ifrit, your brother mentioned that some few of the dominants who had lost their power to you were still able to prime. Is that true?
It is. But their icons no longer submitted to their will.
Then mine will have to be stronger. That you both might save your strength for the battle to come.
You don't have to do this.
If you do, there's a chance you might lose all you have left.
And what have I but regret? My life ended in the Dominion. I fear death no more. Besides, I would have words with Ultima. He has much to answer for.
We are in your debt, Dion.
We can speak of debts when this is over.
He speaks like a man who knows he's not coming back. And has come to terms with that.
That doesn't mean that we have to, does it, Clive?
Time to talk to Jill. I only hope she understands.
Take as much time as you need, brother. Something tells me Ultima will wait.
Say your farewells, and let us be gone.
Come to wish on a star.
That might not be such a bad idea. This is it, Jill. You know what I have to do. Why I have to do it. There's no turning back now. This is where our journey was leading us. Where it will end, for better or worse.
I could pray to Metia for you. But you'll be all right, won't you, Clive? You always are.
I did promise we'd watch the moon together.
I'll be waiting.
choice time. Better make sure I haven't forgotten anything. Something tells me this is no mere adventure story. What is it this time, Torgal?
Clive, my Rutherford informs me that we owe you our thanks. Hadn't intended for you to get involved, but such a...
I would have done the same for anyone else.
You're far too modest, Clive. You'd make a terrible nobleman. But tell me, is the realm truly in as dire a state as Rutherford suggests?
From what little I saw, you were right to be worried.
I suppose I should have expected the worst. But I was rather hoping the great and good of the realm might have things a little more under control. Alas, it seems that firm leadership is in short supply these days, and without it, the people are bound to lose their way. We must move quickly.
But where do we start?
True, the challenges that face us are many. But in my estimation, there are two key areas to be addressed before any other. The realm's armies and her larders. As you've seen firsthand, it's every man and woman for themselves out there. Certain cities have banded together to try and maintain some semblance of order, yes, but such cases are few and far between. And yet, the only remedy for the chaos that faces us is unity. A unity that transcends even the... In short, if Storm does not stand...
But how would one even begin?
The armies, my boy. As I told you already, we begin by... Sadly, I doubt I could convince even the lowliest gag, but I do know someone the High Commanders have been known to listen to.
I thought he was...
He was, until an Akashic army tore through Randalar and killed most of the rank and file. There is no... And as luck would have it, I've already...
Of course you have.
And he's agreed to help. On one condition. Havel has always been a man of frustratingly rigid principle, and he has certain qualms about clasping. I extolled your many virtues as best I could, of course, but the old... You don't mind, do you?
Of course not. As long as chaos reigns, we will never build a better world. I'll do whatever it takes. And if the Field Marshal wishes to speak with me in person... I'll leave for Randalar. Would you send a stolen?
Of course. Rutherford is already in the Dhalmekian capital. I'll have him tell Havel...
Excellent.
No.
The hour fast approaches. My decision is made. You said it yourself. He must be stopped.
He must.
Make ready.
Cid.
By all means.
It's my old master. Seems there's no escape. And something else.
How did she come?
Finding bearers always was her and it seems the cells of Balmung Dark are full of them. Foreign captives, the mock, and even better for her, bearers with no one to look after them. When
Leaving the bearers to be
Sid, I'd like to believe that and while I'm well aware that you've forbidden Cursebreakers from traveling, I can't let those bearers die in their cells.
We'll be needing the Enterprise if we're going to navigate.
Does that mean...
I'm making an exception, and we stay no longer than we have to. Ash is an inhospitable place at the best of times. We save as many as we can, and we leave.
Thank you, Sid. There was a name in the prison register. A name from my part. Chadwick. Another of my former master's the thought of him held captive in...
He must be very important to you.
He was.
Then we find him.
The entrance to the prison lies in the shadow of Ravenwit Walls. We should head there as quickly as we can.
As do I.
Sid, I was wondering if you could help me.
It depends what with.
A bearer, but recently freed from his bonds, is keen to join the Cursebreakers. As you know, the work we do is not easy, which is why we test every volunteer's suitability.
I don't mind, but...
Because he wants to... Our ranks are filled with men and women capable of breaking chains and putting slavers to... But scouting, we're few with the nose for that, which is why we still rely so heavily on Gav. And since he accompanies you on so many of your missions, I thought you might be better placed to recognize the traits in him that we...
Sounds reasonable.
So you're happy to oversee the boys' test, then?
One can never have too many scouts.
Truer words, Sid. I'll let the initiate know that you'll be attending his trial, and that he is to proceed directly to Northreach.
No time like the present, eh?
No time like the present.
Northreach. I don't suppose they could have chosen somewhere closer. Vivian, and I'd be happy to help you find the book.
Thank you, but tracking it...
Please, it's only right that I would...
You are too... Alas, I spoke with Hapok.
If you say so.
Forgive, but this book, it set me on the path to become...
What a word.
No.
Is that right? Might be time to... But if it weren't for Sid... Off you go, then.
Twinside's hundreds of leagues.
Clive.
Joshua, what's wrong?
I've received word from Cyril. The Undying have found Father.
His will?
In the crypt, beneath Rosalind. After Kupka was kind enough to drive out the Imperials, the Undying took the opportunity to recover what relics of the Duchy yet remained. And in the process of doing so...
I'm surprised anything survived done.
Cyril asked that I join him in Tabor at my convenience.
Of course. I want to know what's in that letter as much as you do.
Very well. I am ready to leave when you are.
Anyone right as she and yet Clive. I fear she asks the impossible.
The Executor.
Coveters of secrets. A clandestine organization. One such, a tale which or so rumor has it.
How is it that
why they lurk,
which would explain
by the hand?
But what
Fine question. Sadly, All that is known of the Executors can be recounted in a single breath. You may just as soon ask me of their origins, numbers, or...
Then my hunt was... What was Vivi...
Not from thin air. Rumors of the Executors, but rather less... alas, but if you were, by some chance, able to save even a single book from the poor man's library, I know his soul would rest...
Very well. When I next find myself in Waloed, I'll be sure to pay Garnick a visit.
First the skies.
Say what you will, Lady Karen Seamers.
Pining for something, boy. What is it? What do you see out there? I never did ask where you got that anklet of yours.
From Sid, that's why. On the day he brought him home.
That long ago?
And you're only thinking to ask this now? Sid saw that the pup had a habit of gnawing on his leg, since you ask. Clap that there iron on him to keep him from doing it.
What was wrong, boy?
I'll take like as not. Must have been hard on the poor whelp losing his loving masters at such a young age. Doubly hard in being a frost wolf, torn away from his icons and all. Sid would always tell him, you want my iron gone, you find what it is you're looking for. I reckon what he were looking for was you.
I'm sorry, Torgal. Sorry for making you wait so long. Let's get that thing off you.
Doesn't sound like he wants it off.
Indeed. You miss Sid as much as the rest of us, don't you? You want me to go with you somewhere?
Quick, aren't you? Glad you've been paying attention.
Not nearly as much as you have, Lady Karen.
Aye, good thing and all. It's not like Gav would have kept him in nuts and rubbed his belly these past 10 summers.
Your kindness is appreciated. You've been a good friend to him.
Only because he doesn't talk back like the rest of you. Go on now.
Where to then, Torgal?
What do you think happened to me?
With what?
No. It's Vatican.
Well, then.
You didn't. I don't.
But who's gonna...
What?
You do that. She's in her dungeon.
Thanks for the...
If this doesn't steer to the skies, nothing will.
To the skies? You aren't trying to give the Enterprise wings, are you?
What else would I be doing?
The children seem to think you're avoiding them. They're worried about you. Is this really so important that you need to shut yourself away from everyone?
The Enterprise is already the fastest ship in the realm. But what if she weren't bound to the waves? What if she weren't bound? It's not fair. The Fallen had their chance. But they relied too much on magic. And see where that got them? But not me. I've discovered how to do it without. Well, almost. First, I need to make a prototype.
And is that a one-woman job?
Are you volunteering? I'll have you know the Enterprise is my baby. But if her godfather's offering to lend a hand, I'd be happy to take it. First, I'll need oil. Then I'll need...
If it's beast bones...
No, they'll know where you might find some. You're the...
I should speak with one of the Cursebreakers before I set off for Old Hill. See if I can't find this bone while I'm there as well.
Has Midadol mentioned a new project yet?
I will not let them be forgotten. Sid, may I have a moment?
Of course.
It is my...
No, I will...
or we... but the...
You were a good friend, Herman. But the fact remains that Ash is simply too dangerous.
Sid, please. Even should it cost me my life.
Too dangerous for you, Herman. But not for me. I'll go to Bad Bach and find the registry.
You will?
I won't let you risk your life.
I don't know how to thank you.
You can start by telling me where I'll find this orphanage.
Vida Grace. Hidden in a... Right.
Do you suppose it's magic keeps the thing afloat?
What else could it be?
Mid... If it... But... Okay.
How are you doing? Anything catch your eye? Always something in there.
Twinside's hundreds of leagues away.
All right, Torgal. Where are you taking me? I'm going to need a little bit more than that, boy. Do you have a better hint for me? Unless... you've already given me one. Back on the rear deck, you were looking west, toward Rosaria. Why don't we try the rookery? I haven't been to the island in almost 20 years. To Port Isolde, then. Fingers crossed the old mooring is still there.
Why the hell would Victor take the bearer's side?
Thanks. You're really going to go through with...
I am, but...
If it's with him.
It's the children. And if I leave them, I can think of... Thank you.
Lubor!
What is it, Ferda?
There's been a flood in the Velcroy. The League of Outlaws encampment was completely submerged in ether.
What?
Every last one of the bastards!
Bandits are one thing, but Akashic bandits are quite another. We need to evacuate. There's no... Ferda, gather the men. The Akashic may strike at any moment. We must make ready to cover the townspeople's escape. Well, what are you waiting for?
Yes, my lord.
Clive, change of plan. The children stay with me for now. I need you to find Conrad. Tell them to prepare for a full...
Understood.
I'll do it.
What's in it?
You have to listen to me. They're coming.
Why do they always have to make such a...
Ah, it's you.
What do you want?
To pass on him. There's been an ether flood. The camp with the so-called League, they're no longer just bandits. You need to begin preparing for a...
Oh, do we?
Lubor, you may believe his...
But why would he lie?
Some twisted it. If he had not been unmasked, a great honor for one of his... One he might...
Lord Underhill, forgive me. Lubor can...
You may not trust me. But for the sake of your people, ask yourselves if there is any chance that this is true.
There isn't. You can be certain of that. Now be off with you.
You're making a mistake.
Come, Clive. If our words will not move them, then we must find another way to help save the town.
You're right. Let's speak to Lord Ferda.
I think we'd better shut up. What's Lubor raving about now?
Lord Ferda.
Cid, what's wrong?
I went to warn Conrad. They've kept up, which better.
Cid!
Victor.
I couldn't abandon and Lubor...
You have to believe me! The Akashic are coming! They don't eat, they don't sleep, they don't tire, and they don't care who they kill. They're unlike anything that's come before. There won't be no parley, no mercy granted! We may have saved the town once, but this is different. I do not ask that you forgive me, but please believe me. If you do not run, you will die. You will all fucking die!
You'd like that, wouldn't you, bearer?
Yeah, with us out of the way, your kind will be free to claim Dalamil for yourselves.
You should run!
Run, bearer!
Yeah, run!
Run!
Far away!
Run!
Just go on, bearer. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes! Go!
Come on, then.
Go on! Go!
Just go. Just go.
Lubor.
Wait. Someone's coming.
Go.
Come on!
Stop! You're hurting him! What did Lubor ever do to you? He solves all your stupid problems, and he keeps all of you safe. You know there's nothing he wouldn't do for this town. Who was it who made that cleaver you use every day, Conrad?
And what about your counting table, Natalie? Who fixed that?
Whose men make sure the streets are clean so all your boots don't get dirty?
Who spends all day, every day making sure things run smoothly round here? And none of you ever say thank you. Ever.
But did Lubor ever complain? Well, does he ever stop smiling?
He keeps this whole place going. And you act like it doesn't even exist.
Lubor, we've heard enough.
Wait!
We will not run. The town guard will not abandon the very place it is sworn to protect.
And I will not give up for lost the stores that we labored so hard to fill.
So tell us, how do you propose we deal with these Akashic of yours?
We won't run, but we will fight.
All right, then. Fine. Gather round if you don't want to die.
Allow me to explain the situation. The ether flood occurred near the village of Cheratina, deep in the Velcroy. The place had been abandoned for years, until the League of Outlaws decided to make it their base of operations. Now they're all...
With the bandits we at least knew, when these creatures come, Dalimil will have the bitterest fight it has ever faced on its hands. The town guard will muster at the north gate. The rest of us will take the south. Both forces will provide men to serve as scouts and messengers, ready to spread word of the size and nature of the Akashic force as soon as it is spotted. And as soon as it has been, we will converge on its position and see that it is driven back from Dalimil at all costs. Conrad, can I count on the support of the town guard?
Always.
I leave the selection and coordination of the messengers in your hands, Victor. And the command of our men in yours, Ferda. If you would both be so kind.
Consider it done. As you wish.
Natalie, I would ask that you and your people have the townsfolk barricade themselves inside the bathhouse. And tell the merchants not to waste time securing anything beside the essentials. Preserving life is our one and only concern. As long as we survive, it doesn't matter what trinkets we might lose. Our riches can be regained. And if anyone doubts that, let it be known that the Briar's Kiss stands ready to cover any losses.
Very well. I shall tell them.
Where do I fit into this plan? Where else but the most perilous place of all? I would like you to travel to the home of our erstwhile League of Outlaws, Cheratina itself. The main host is most likely still there, and Dalimil will not be safe until it is eradicated root and branch.
A little gardening. How pleasant.
I doubt it. I have a feeling these weeds will be particularly stubborn.
Luckily, so am I.
So you are. All right then, we all know what we have to do. Now it's simply a matter of doing it. For Dalimil.
Looks like everyone's ready. I'd better not keep them waiting.
There it is. The flood.
But what's waiting for us inside? We can't leave a single one alive. The League is disbanded. I should get back to Dalimil and see how the others fared.
All the Akashic we were able to find have been dealt with. Seems that might be the last.
Last of them here.
Lubor, Sir Clive has returned.
Clive!
It's done.
I knew you wouldn't let me down.
Thank you, my lord.
Friends, the Horde has been and we need not fear the arrival of victory. We
Lubor, after all you have done for this town.
But we did. We only hope that you...
We need you, Lubor. Dalimil So, if you would still...
You do remember.
We do. But that is not a stain. It is a stain on ours. We thought only of what we perceived bearers to be, not what you truly are. The man who...
I see. But I will only accept your proposal.
Name them.
Firstly, that you will both do everything in your... If the Town Guard and the Merchants League do not accept my leadership, unity is the key to... When that time comes... Of course. And